Okay, so I've already done one video on the Petzl ASAP, and that was just to show you how to put it on. Okay, so there wasn't really any explanation or talk about it in there. So we're going to have another little look at it now, just in a bit more detail. So the Petzl ASAP is a means of access. It's a fall arrest device. So it is one way that you could access a course safely, and it's also used in rescue scenarios as well. So in terms of accessing our ropes courses, there's a bit of a hierarchy of what we want to start in, what's the safest option. So ultimately the safest option is not to access, and can we like design the problem out at manufacture or in construction. If we can't do that, we might look to use a MUP, so a mobile elevated work platform. So lots of climbing walls have scissor lifts, or cherry pickers, things like that. If that isn't an option, again, what we're going to look at is our skills. So what skills do we use on a daily basis? Probably belaying. So can we access via like belay? So on our ropes course that is here, we've got mayons at the top, so with tracers running through. So if we need to access the course, we can put a normal rope up and I can get my buddy to belay me up. Okay, so it's a really safe way. It's a skill that we're using all the time. If none of those are an option, we need to use specialist equipment, and this is an option for that. It's an example of that. We could also use a ISC ALF, or if you've got wire, you could use a cab lock. So they're all similar things. So the ASAP comes in two, you've got the actual ASAP here, so the rope grab, and then you've got the absorber here, so the absorption. Our ASAP is really easy. Okay, so in this wheel here we've got all these little teeth. Okay, so our rope slides in that groove there and it will move up and down, and then if we fall, obviously it will jam, the teeth will jam into the rope and it will catch us. Okay, so that is essentially how that works. So this is our absorber car. Okay, so this is going to absorb some of the fall. So a bit like our dynamic rope, if we fall onto the ASAP and then load this, all the little sling that's in here is going to rip out, and it's basically going to absorb some of the shock of the fall, make it nicer for ourselves, a little bit nicer than it can be. So you've got to be quite specific with these. So Petzl say that it has to be used with specific carabiners. Okay, you have to use the collar here that goes through the sling and then through the carabiner. Okay, so that's quite a specific thing you have to do, and you must do a pre-use check on the ACE absorber car to make sure it hasn't been deployed and it's in working order before you commit to it. So we've already done a bit of a video on how to load the ASAP. There are two options to load it. So you can either manually put your thumb on the little grooved platform there and pull the slider down, okay, and then put that onto our rope. Or if you're feeling a bit speedy, what you can use is actually manipulate the rope onto the little grooved platform, and whilst you do that, slide the ASAP up and that'll go on. So I have got two other videos that already explain that, so I'll put both links up in the video so you can see it. Again, with our carabiner, what we're going to do is put it through the eye here, but we need to make sure that we capture the rope within that as well. Okay, and then you must do a function check. When you do the function check, what you want to avoid is grabbing hold of the absorber car, because again, if you're putting some force to that, you could start to engage it and potentially rip it out. Okay, and it's the same if you were to pull on the carabiner down here. So the best thing to do, Petzl, if you look in the manual, it says to hold the device, or you can hold the top carabiner as well when you're just performing that function check. Okay, and then the manufacturer's recommendation to release it is I'm just going to put my thumb in here, put some tension on it, and just ever so slightly move the ASAP up, and there was a little click, and that unlocks it. It does take a little bit of working out. When you are climbing up using the ASAP, what you want to do is, if that's attached to my fall arrest harness, I'm going to use my arm and keep it like this. Okay, so every time I climb up, my arm's going to move the device up and it's going to keep it above me. So it's going to keep my anchor point above, If I was climbing up and it was always below, okay, we're going to be in a situation there where we're going to have to think about fall factors, and that's going to increase my fall. It's then going to increase the chance of me deploying a shock absorber, and then again it's going to do a bit of harm to my body. It's going to hurt a little bit. Okay, so best practice when you're using the device, keep your arm through it, okay, and that will always ensure it's above you and you've got a good anchor.